It's just different.
Are you ready?
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 Are you ready for the afternoon refill?
It's the afternoon refill.
Afternoon refill.
It's the afternoon refill.
Afternoon refill.
You're tuned in to the afternoon refill with Toni T.
What is good? Welcome back to the afternoon refill. It's your girl Toni T, and I am so excited that we're back again with another episode. I mean, I'm excited that we have visuals, y'all. So let's give it up for the visuals, because it's on and popping in here. I mean, the lighting, to the seating, to the rug, to everything. I'm just super blessed. But I want to hop right into this topic. But before I can do that, I got to introduce my special guest today. And so on today's episode, we have my girl ChaCha. Everybody give it up for ChaCha.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
And then I got my boy CJ. Give it up for CJ. Who is tuning in from where? Where you at right now?
Youngstown, Ohio.
Okay, Ohio. Yeah. So I appreciate you for still coming on here and doing the podcast. That means a lot.
No, most definitely.
Yes. So ChaCha and CJ, what I'm gonna have y'all do is just share a little bit about yourself. It could be whatever. I know everybody hates to do that. And I also didn't tell y'all was gonna do that because I just wanted to be natural. Everything here is just authentic. So share whatever you want to share about yourself, whether it's your age, what you love to do, what you currently do, just what you're doing in life, what you love about life. It could be absolutely anything, but just let the people know a little bit about who you are. Okay. ChaCha, you can go first. You've been on here before.
I have.
You're not a special guest. You're family on this show. You're here on the podcast. So yes, tell the people about yourself. What you up to now?
Girl, so I'm ChaCha. I'm 33. I'm about to be 34. Yay! It's crazy. What am I up to? I have a 10-month-old. She's gonna be 11 months tomorrow. So
wow.
Yeah, 11. Thank you. Momming and I'm married. I have a husband. What else am I at work? I've been working from home, which I love. And my entire pregnancy and having my baby, working from home. And I love to thrift. Yeah, that's about me.
Yes. And you thrift well. You thrift well.
Thanks.
She got us biting off of her. Like, it's crazy because I don't have the time or the patience to be in the store.
There's a lot of patience.
Yes. Unless I'm looking for something specific like a blazer, then I'm like, okay, we could do this. If I don't find one in the next 10 minutes, we out. But that's good. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
What about you, CJ? What's good with you? What you been up to?
Nothing. Just living. I was about to say something corny, so I'm not even going to do that. Just living, man, being a musician, doing music full time, working at the church, producing bass, drums, keys, doing everything I can. Just trying to make it, you know. I enjoy music if you haven't figured it out. But other than that, I do love having a good time and clowning. As Antoinette would tell you in college, I was an idiot. But I was a smart idiot sometimes. I did sleep a lot in class, but God still was on my side. But yeah, that's all about me.
Hey, thank you for sharing, CJ.
Definitely.
Yo, is this your first podcast?
This is my first podcast ever.
Let's go. Let's give it up for CJ being on his first podcast. And thank you for being for allowing me to interview you first. You feel me? Because this will be first of many. You know what I'm saying? First of many. All right, well, let's hop right into it because today's topic is something I'm really excited to discuss. I feel like people don't talk about it enough, and that's why we're in the space that we're in today. Am I right? Because y'all know what the topic is. Y'all chose it. So today's topic is just friends. Can guys and girls be platonic? You feel me? That is the question. So what I love to do is to break down to provide a definition of, you know, a specific word that's within that topic. So the word that I'm defining today is platonic, okay? Platonic from New Oxford American Dictionary is an adjective, all right? Of love or friendship, intimate and affectionate, but not sexual. So it's not sexual whatsoever. So everything is plain and clear, plain and simple. You're just simply friends. There's nothing more. You're not attracted to the other person. Y'all just not crossing any lines. There's boundaries, you know? And so my question to the two of you is, do you believe that a guy and a girl can be platonic? ChaCha, go first.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
I believe it. And I say that just because my best friend is a guy. My best friend, I've known him since I was 15. I met him at 15. And we've been best friends ever since. And he's a guy. And it's always been that way. So I feel like a lot of times, like when people say that, when I tell people that my best friend is a guy, the first thing that they say is, yeah, but I'm sure like something might have happened, something maybe happened, or he thought about something, but it's always been that way. And I believe it. I know it exists. It's there. So I absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And what about you, CJ? Do you think a guy and a girl can be platonic? No. That slow head shake. He said,
Nah. And obviously we'll get into it later, but I think it is possible. It's very, very possible. But I believe it can get dangerous very fast, if that makes sense.
You say dangerous, so break it down. What you mean dangerous? That feelings can get involved. Somebody's going to catch feelings down the line.
Somebody's going to feel a way at some point. And even if it's not a major, I love you so much. Even if it's a, hey, man, I don't know what it is about the day, but you walked in the room and I'm, that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? You see something, you be like,
you're looking different.
I never saw that before. You know, that's different. I ain't never seen that. Like, so, you know.
Okay. That's interesting. Because my thing is, I feel like I think we hyper-focus on being more than friends so much, especially with the opposite sex. Like, why do we have to look so much into it?
Yeah.
But I think it's because everybody desires somebody. They desire to be with somebody, and I don't think it's a bad thing to consider that person, especially if like y'all been riding for a really long time and y'all have been cool. There might be a moment where you might consider it, but at the same time, I don't think we have to act on that. If like there's a couple of things that just aren't on your list or that you peep, like this person don't got it, it's okay. Like, why can't we just stay friends? Like, but you know what? It is what it is. I do feel like there's always like an answer of yes and of no. And I want to dive into that, and I'm really excited that you said yes, there could be a platonic friendship, and you're a perfect example of that because you're also married. And I think a lot of people feel like, whoa, how does your man feel about that? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now there's like mad questions. Did you and homeboy ever have like a slight history of confiding in each other as more than friends? And, you know, just, yeah, how does that work for you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I remember when I first met my husband, Brian, I told him straight up, because, you know, past relationships, when I meet people and I tell them my best friend is a guy, there's always like this, I don't know. Yeah. But when I met him, I told him, like, he's been in my life forever, my best friend, and he's going to stay. Like, and I think at first Brian was kind of like my husband. He was kind of like, I don't know. But then when he like saw the way that like our relationship, he respected it, because like you, in the definition you put the word boundaries, right? So I think that's so important because there's boundaries. And even when I talk to my best friend on the phone, I have it on speaker. I have to also say he's married with kids too. Okay. So it's like, it's not this guy, single guy that, you know what I mean? Right, like he has a family of his own. I have a family. And even before we both had families, it was always like strictly just friends. Because again, we set boundaries. He tells me, like, he tells me about his relationship, right? Like, I know everything that's going on with him, and he's a great person, hence why he's my best friend. But, like, he's just not, like, somebody that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I would ever consider anything further than just friends. So, like you said, like, how does that work is really the boundaries. And now him and Brian are, like, great friends, you know.
I love that, and I'm so glad that that is your story, because I feel like there are so little of them. Or maybe I just don't know enough people who can confidently say, yeah, I have a guy who is my best friend and he's staying. And I'm telling you off grip so you can figure out your feelings. And if that's what's going to stop you from allowing this to grow and prosper as we should, then like, you lame. Maybe just a little bit. I mean, because then it also says to me, like, is that an insecurity thing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, do you not trust me enough? Or I can understand because you don't know homeboy.
Right.
But like, you should trust me at least to understand and know that I would never like try to let this slide past you as we try to move forward, because I know that can be an inconvenience. And CJ, you are saying that no, guys and girls cannot be platonic. Do you feel some type of way if a girl was like, yeah, a girl you're trying to talk to rolled up and was like, yeah, but my best friend is a guy? You would just cut her off.
I wouldn't feel a type of way. I would not feel a type of way. But I am in a situation right now where one of my good friends, I've been friends with her for years. She has a new dude now. And I'm like, yo, are we ever going to meet this dude? Like, I want to meet him so he can know what it is on a respect level, because he knows that we're friends and we've been friends for years and nothing's ever going to change that. Yeah. So I'm like, is he cool with that? She's like, yeah. Still haven't met him. So I'm like,
he ain't cool with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, does he understand? Like, I'm trying to be respectful and not overstep, but I want to make sure he knows, like, hey, man, I'm here. I don't want nothing to do with none of that. But I'm a homie. We've been friends for years. Like, that's just what it is. Yeah. So I feel like he's not letting it happen, which I respect. Obviously, I'm not gonna be like, man, all this. I'm not gonna say all the extras. I respect it because that's his choice and his decision. Right. But I do think it can happen. Yes, it can happen. But like both of you have said, the boundaries have to be set. And there has to be a trusting. I think a lot of people don't trust nowadays. Yeah. So that might be a big reason why it probably wouldn't be a smart idea to be platonic friends with the opposite sex.
Yeah, for me, I'm just like, I don't see what the issue is, especially if there is engagement between, like, the fact that you're being so forward as her friend out of respect to say, hey, man, I want to meet you because I might have not come from the same womb as my sister, but like, this is somebody that I love and respect, and I just want to make sure that you have love and respect for her, so I'm kind of watching out for her, or whatever the case may be. And it could be vice versa. And for me, I feel like it screams like an insecurity within if like you instantly feel some type of way that this person has a natural connection, friend wise, with the opposite sex, and that person was there long before you got there. So there's so much that you can also learn from that person, and why not like build that relationship, or at least some sense of like engagement, just to like get the gist of who this person is and who their people are. Because also you can find out whether or not that person's even a good friend. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because the person that they riding and rocking and rolling with, if that person is unhealthy, then you might get a sense of where you're going in this relationship. You might be with an unhealthy person. You know what I'm saying? So, I just feel like we put a lot of pressure on relationships, especially pertaining to men and women. And so I just also had another question or two, just in regards to this topic. Do you feel that society puts pressure on relationships between the opposite sex, like more than it should be?
Yeah, I do. I think they do. I mean, I would say in my experience though, when we, because I met my best friend in college, so when we were really good friends, a lot of people said things, right? Like you're hearing a lot of things, like there must be something going on. You hear all these stories, and even I will tell you, even when he met his current wife, somebody told her that ChaCha, we used to date in college. And I'm like, what? It was funny to me. I'm like, yeah, there's so much, because people talk a lot and there's always so much pressure. And I'm like, are you serious? And then I got to meet her. Well, good thing she didn't like
allow that to
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think she did.
Right.
Well, no,
That's just assuming because she's like, we cool now.
we are. I mean, I'm the godmother to her daughter, so.
Come on.
So I mean, like we're really cool, but you know what I mean. Like people always saying something like, "Oh, it has to be more," and I get it. Like I think when it comes to this topic, a lot of times, like the women are the ones. From my experience, from the people that I've talked to, the women are the ones that are like, yeah, we can strictly be just friends.
Yeah.
And then I think a lot of times it's the guys that are always like, no, there's always, and I can understand that like a lot of times the guys think that it could just not happen because I would say, like you were saying, it takes the right person. For my best friend, it took that person, and I've had really close male friends, and there were other people that I thought were just like really cool, and they also tried to like cross the boundary, which I thought is like weird. But when it comes to like societal pressure, I feel like there's a lot of that. Like people always think that there's something going on, or like, you know, like I'm African. When I brought my best friend, my family's looking like, okay, so who is this now? Should we, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
Should
it's
we
just
start
like,
preparing for the wedding?
exactly.
Like, whoa.
No, but it's just like, yo, he's just my friend.
Yeah.
Like, he's family now. Like, he's not. And they know, like, the only person I'll be bringing home is the person I'm getting ready to marry. So, and that's what happened. So, but no, I just, it's a lot, it is a lot of pressure. And I think that it's also your intentions. When you first meet the person, my intention when I first met him was I was meeting him as a friend. Okay. And that's how it always stayed. So I also think that like if you're meeting somebody thinking like, yeah, he's cool, but maybe, you know what I mean? If you always have that maybe in the back of your mind, it might slowly change. But
right. I feel like it's all about our perspective and how we go into things. Because if your mind is set on meeting someone to be more than friends, you're set out to have a more intimate relationship, then of course the guy you just met a couple of days who's cool, you look at him more than he's cool. You looking at him like, he's an option, or he's fine. Like you start building up this idea of who he could be, when in reality, you just met homeboy today. Like he's not even a friend. He's an acquaintance. Like you just met him. He's cool people. Like test, like see what that's like first. And I feel like even when it comes down to the whole relationship thing, like why can't we just enter into it as friends? Like say, I don't know you from nowhere, and even if the person is physically attractive, like I don't necessarily think that we have to put so much like, I don't know, like not pressure, but put so much on that physical attraction. Yeah. I feel like you don't even know their personality. You don't know how they rock. You don't know how they think. You don't know their perspective. It could be drastically different than yours. And somebody can do something really ugly in a day. I remember one time me and Finna was at the mall and we saw somebody fine. So we're like, oh, wow, he must be a model or something, because what? And you're not from here, because people like you don't really live around the block. And so as we were lining up to go to the fitting room, homeboy just like brushed us. Like he walked past, but like you could tell he was like arrogant. He knew he was hot stuff. From that moment, me and Finna looked at each other and was like, he ain't it. No. He instantly became ugly, okay? But yeah, like, you just never know. And I feel like there's so much pressure on intimate relationships that we don't even have the respect and the patience to build a platonic one. And I feel like the platonic ones is what's really important. Like, the fact that we get to know somebody's heart without anything interfering with that or getting in the way, it matters. It matters. CJ, you feel the same about societal pressures on relationships?
Yes, and I'm going to give you a perfect example. Anytime you're with a group of girls, for you two, because you're ladies, but to all my fellas in the room, when you with your homies and one of your homies comes walking with some random girl you never seen before, and you be like, hey, who is that? And you be like, hey, what's up? Like, that's a little, and you know what I'm saying? It happens way too often. Sometimes you can see the signs and you be like, I know what that is. But sometimes it's like, nah, man, we're just cool. Like, don't put 100 on 10, in the words of my man Bernie Mac. But don't make something out of nothing if it is nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I feel like we need to allow it to authentically become something. But I feel like our expectations of the person that we're meeting sometimes can be way too high. Like, we just need to let people live as they are. And I think from there, we'll be able to really dish out. We'll be able to discern whether or not this person is even going to move forward with us, just in life in general, whether they're a friend, however they're going to come. Like, we just need to have a very clean, we have to have a clean plate, a clean slate, just ready to accept them as they are. If it becomes more, cool. But if not, that's fine too. Right. Lessons to be learned, right? Lessons to be learned. So if there is no attraction to the opposite sex friend, right? Then why do you think that like, okay, let's put it like this. So let's say Brian was still bothered by your friendship with Homeboy. What is your perception of him being bothered, even though he knows and he sees and you have witnesses who can testify to y'all just being strictly platonic? If he still had issues, what would be your thoughts from there?
I think it has to do a lot more with, like, I would think that it's a trust issue. Like, he either doesn't trust me or there's something about my friend that he's seeing that I'm not seeing. Although I've known him for a while. But, you know, like, sometimes, like, you have to, when you're friends with someone for a really long time, you give them the benefit of the doubt. You're like, no, this is who he is. Like, he would never do anything like that. And then somebody sees your relationship from a different perspective, and then they might be seeing something else there that you're not seeing, right? So I feel like if Brian was still bothered by our relationship, then it's either a trust issue. I mean, like, it's probably things that he's dealt with in the past, or in our relationship, there's something there that, you know, or it could be he's seeing something that I'm not saying, and he's trying to be like, no, I'm really telling you. Because, I mean, like I said, it's happened in the past. There's been people that I've been really close with that, you know, I've thought, no, it's just really friends. They would never.
They just been waiting.
And then when the opportunity presented itself, they were like, I'm like, no, thank you. So.
You're hilarious, Internet. You're hilarious.
They be lurking.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I would definitely say, but it would, I don't know. I'm glad that that's not the case with me, because it would really, like, it'd be heartbreaking.
And I think what sucks too is, let's say Brian did see that this guy friend was hoping for more, and, like, was still, like, like, he was just hoping to get in there at one point. I feel like that's so hard, because you and your friend have been going for so long.
Exactly.
So you really about to choose, and I feel like that's where the guilt trip part comes in. It's like, you really about to choose this new dude over me? And I think that's where a lot of, like, relationships end up being tarnished, because now it's just like, oh damn, I barely know this person, but I like him a lot, and I see a future with him, but this has been my friend forever. But it's like that friend forever doesn't respect what you could have with your future. So I think that also says a lot to who you're friends with. If that's the case, that Homeboy, if he had more feelings and Brian sought that or whatever as one of the options. But yeah, I love that breakdown. If it's a couple of issues, whether it's with trust, based off of a previous relationship, or just, you know, whatever type of relationship, he just has trust issues, or that he sees something in that person that you just haven't over the years, because you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. Have you experienced that, CJ?
Yeah, I mean, for myself, like with the situation I was telling you about earlier, when she first told me, she was like, yeah, I got to do whatever. He knows about you, and he knows about, it's a couple of us, we're just a family, it's just how we roll. She was like, yeah, he knows about all you guys, but he asked me to kind of stay away. I was like, what? Who is this dude? He ain't been around. Like, we've been there. But I had to, like, take a step back and be like, CJ, bro, what if that was you and you had a girl and she had, you know what I'm saying? I had to be like, okay, let me be respectful and respect his wishes and say, I get it, I understand it. Still try to establish that, hey, man, let's meet, communication, so we can meet and just understand, and you can understand me, I can understand you. But I did have to check myself, because I was like, bro, you're new. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. We know everything. So if you would want to get in that position with her, you would probably be best talking to us so we can help you maneuver, you know what I'm saying, and how she acts, or if something happens, something like, you know what I'm saying, just so you can have somebody to talk to. But I understood, and I didn't at first, but I had to take a thought and just think to myself, a light bulb, you know how the light bulb goes off, and say, you know what, respect it and put yourself in his shoes. If you would like that, or how you would feel about that, and maybe you would want the situation to be a little bit differently for you. So yeah.
Most definitely. I do think that it's odd that homie isn't trying to meet the friend group, because I'm also very much into true crime. So, so instantly that says to me like, oh my gosh, is he trying to isolate her? That is unsafe. Why wouldn't you want to get to know my people? Because then you're able to say like, okay, based off of that hangout, that moment of interaction, that opportunity to like get to know them, here's what I received. You know what I'm saying? So-and-so is jealous, or this person, they're into you. This person, they're cool. Right. They're straightforward. Like that person, you know what I mean? So the fact that he's not even giving himself the opportunity to gauge all of that is really weird.
And I would say like, it would 100% of what you said, if I had a situation and I didn't even had a girlfriend or whatever, and I didn't even give her people a chance, like all of her friends, male or female, and was like, nah, right from the rip, you can't hang out with them. I don't like them. I've never hung out with them, never experienced them. If I'm going to just say, you can't hang out with them or you can't be around them, low-key, I don't have the place for that. And that's me being selfish to her, saying, you have to leave all these people that's been in your life forever, forget about them, and just come kick it with me. That's mad selfish. You know what I'm saying?
Isolation.
Yes. Red flags.
Yeah, that's a total red flag. So, homie, if you ever get a chance to listen to this, red flag. Homegirl, just saying, you know what I'm saying? Your man needs to meet your friends, okay? Now, so I was going through Healthline because I was like, you know what? Let me actually look up this topic and just to see what society has been saying, right? So I found it on Healthline, and I thought this was really great. Healthline said, people often assume platonic friendships never succeed, especially if one of you catches feelings or misreads certain signals as signs of attraction, right? Which again, I feel like that's another thing. Like if there's clear communication from jump, then like why would you think anything other until it's like not only said and done?
Right.
But I digress. The assumption stems from a collection of false ideas, including everyone's end goal is romance, which for a lot of like relationships, the end goal is not romance. Right. It's just not. It can't even be. Okay, it's not possible. It's so funny because you had mentioned how like, you know, if you brought your guy friend home, your family's like, huh? Mm-hmm. I remember in high school, I had brought over my homeboy Diego. Shout out to you, Diego, if you ever see this. You know what I'm saying? I had brought him over along with some of my closest girlfriends, and I remember my mom being like, a boy? Why is he in my house? And he in your room? Like, but we were all in the room, doors open, like we chilling, you know what I'm saying? We having a conversation. We finna go to youth group. Like everything is cool. And over time she realized that I'm just a friendly person, so like I'll be cool with anybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's not limited to the same sex just because we're all girls.
Exactly.
And at this day and age, like it's you don't know. Right. So like we can't just assume, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, everyone's end goal isn't romance. People of different genders don't have enough in common to maintain friendships, which is wild to me because we all have lived experiences and we can relate to each other's lived experiences. Yeah, absolutely. So just because if there's let's say there's like another guy and a girl in this room, I could probably connect more to the guy than the girl just based off of our shared lived experience. Right. If me and homegirl don't connect because we don't got nothing in common, that's okay. Exactly. Yeah. But if homeboy and I connect, it's because we have more in common and that's okay. Right. But to assume that it has to be more is wild. Another thing they had stated was that's a false idea, is that you'll eventually desire a sexual relationship with any friend that you could be attracted to. And I think that's wild too, because why does it have to go that far? Like,
yeah,
it don't gotta go that far.
Sometimes it does happen, It does happen, but it does not have to go there. Like, don't reach like that.
Right. But I think it's a forced thing. And I feel like it's because of the pressure of society or whatever. Right. Like, I've had a friend say, hey, like, are you interested in so-and-so, who was a good guy friend of mine? And I responded, no, because I never thought about it before. And don't do that. Especially if homeboy didn't tell you nothing, like, but you just trying to feed something. Like, let's not do that. Right. Like, it might look good to you, but, like, you about to kill the whole vibe of this friendship. Exactly. Because now I'm wondering if he's into me, and now I have to...
They're planting seeds.
Planting a seed. Yeah. Now I have to, like, respond a different way so he gets the message, like, this ain't happening. Like, now I have to put in work and make something so uncomfortable or awkward when it just never should have been. Right. And if homeboy never expressed something to me face to face, let's not do that. Yeah. Don't tell your friends or don't ask your friends if they're interested in another friend. Don't kill the vibes, man. No. Don't kill the vibes. Unless you're really trying to play Cupid out here because you know homeboy's interested. Right. Encourage your homeboy to speak up. Yeah. Period. Let him do the work. Let him do the work. But, yeah, and I assume that you agree with that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Vibe killers, man.
I don't, like, and the other thing about it is, like, there's always that thought behind, like, if you, I know, like, you know, all the things we were reading, like, the false ideologies. Yeah. But it's, like, my biggest thing was, I never, like, we had such a good friendship, and I never saw anything other than a good friendship. Mm-hmm. And I never, even when people would talk, like you were saying, like, your friend asked you, do you ever see homeboy? You know, people would say all those things, and to me, I never even thought about it that far, because I'm like, it would completely ruin our friendship. Ruin it. You know, like, it's good the way it is. Right. And not to say, like, my best friend, he's an attractive man. Mm-hmm. Like, he is, but he's just not it's not mine. Like, it's not for me. You know, and I don't want to, and I feel like just because somebody's attractive, it doesn't mean that everybody's attracted to them. Right. Right? Like, no, because, like, no, let's talk about it. There's a lot of other qualities about, again, he's great, because I don't want him to look at this and say, what is she trying to say about me? He's a great guy, but he's just not my guy, right? Like, we're just really good, and that's all it is. And again, like, I never wanted to, I don't want to do anything to ruin that friendship. I want it to be the way it is, and that's what it is. Like, yeah. That's good. That's good. You said it right then and there. See, you got anything to add?
It's so funny, actually. Just the other day, I'm about to give probably an illegal shout out. I don't care. Shout out to this dude, Big Jaw, on YouTube. He's hilarious. If you don't know him, watch him. He actually did a skit about platonic relations, and he asked his homegirl asked the question, you know your homeboy is so-and-so. Yeah. Do you think he would ever, like, want to whatever? Nah, he's not thinking about that. And the guy was like, yes, he is. He thought about it. Like, even if he doesn't tell you, he thought about it. But 9 times out of 10, actually, I can't say 9 times out of 10. Sometimes dudes genuinely aren't thinking that. Like, they're not. They don't want, they don't care. That's not on their mind. They don't want, especially if they're friends with you, they're not thinking about that. But sometimes there are situations where, I don't know, you just get into what's that? Can you feel the air? I can feel it in the air. And, like, something is off one day. Huh? Sorry. Something is off one day between, no, you good. You just feel something and you're like, hey, how are you? Okay. How are you feeling? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you speak,
Nah. Hey.
Hilarious.
It's different tonight. How you feeling?
Like,
I'm fine.
But yeah, that was it.
Oh. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on just friendships to be more than what it is. And I feel like because people's lack of healthy friendships, they're not able to experience a healthy an intimate relationship. If you don't know how to care for your close loved ones, like your people, I can't guarantee that you're going to learn or know how to care for your person, the person that you choose. And you also can't isolate yourself with just that person alone. So, like, you have to, your relationship needs a community. Your relationship needs a team of people to support y'all and to encourage you and build you up. Not saying you got to share stuff, but I feel like the lack of healthy platonic friendships creates all this drama and lack of trust in the future relationships, especially intimate. And so, yeah, I just feel like this conversation isn't really had enough, which is why we're like in the state that we're in today. We're like, nobody really wants a title, but then all day long, everybody's asking, what are we? Mm-hmm. Because there's too many blurred lines. Like, why can't we start off as just friends? Like, just keep it like that. Because you don't know this person from nowhere. Like, I had to ask somebody the other day, I was like, yo, instead of what if, I could understand, like, if you might be attracted to this girl, you would like her to be more than a friend, you want to date her, or you want to be with her, but, like, how, like, why can't y'all just start off as friends? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I know they get scared of being friend zoned because Lord knows I know how to put dudes in their friend zone quick. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little default, but it's not the best thing, but at the same time, it's like this. I guess it's the safest thing, but I feel like with the mess that we're in today, it's like people don't know what they want or they're just mad inconsistent, and it's just causing so much chaos in how people perceive their next possible relationship, if it even happens, because they're so messed up from the last one.
I will say though, when you said when you meet somebody, why can't you just start off as friends? Yeah. That's not me. That's not me at all. Really? If I meet you, no, I don't do the friends and then more. I don't do that. If I meet you as a friend, it's always going to stay friends. If I meet you as a potential, like, love interest, then that's what I want to pursue. I don't, just because I, like, when it comes to friendship, like, I don't play. Like, I don't like the whole, like you said, like the blurred lines, the people crossing boundaries. No, if we're friends, that's it. Yeah. When I met Brian, we met off of a dating site. So, I knew what my
intentions
exactly.
Right.
All my other
can
friends.
I ask a question?
Yeah.
They say you marry, or people say whatever. They say you marry your best friend. Do you feel like you married your best? I mean, because you said, like, when you first meet somebody, you don't do the friends thing. Do you feel like you married your best friend?
Well, over time, he's become my best friend. But when we met, he was obviously, I didn't know much about him. Right. He wasn't my best friend. But over time, as you get to, know them, learn about them, and start talking like them, laughing at their dad jokes.
It's going to get personal, ChaCha.
No, he knows.
Shout out to Brian.
No, but like they become your best friend. And it's worked out for people in the past. Like, I love those stories that, they met, they were best friends, and then they got married. It's beautiful. It's just not me.
Right.
It's not. No. Just because I'm very like,
I want to know what
this is what it is, right? Like, no. If I meet you and you're cute, that I know you're cute. Like, I want to take it there. I don't want to be friends. But if I meet you as just friends, like, hey, that's what it is. It's gonna stay that way. That's just me.
I mean, it's clean cut. The thing is that because nowadays when people swear or try to act like they're forward or they want something more, and then they try to they try to take it back and say, you know what, let's just be friends instead. I think that's where it's just like, then don't do that.
Right.
Let's not hop into it so intensely with intention when you're unsure and then try to backtrack. Right. Start off with if you think the person's cool, be like, yo, I honestly think you're mad cool. I would love to get to know you more. Like, you just seem like cool people. Right. And I would, let's just hang out or whatever. That's totally fine. And if you're confused as to what this may be, I think it's okay to ask those questions. I'm a question asker. Okay? Some people say nosy. But you need to, if you got to know things, ask questions, okay?
And ask the source. Don't ask other people. Right. I think sometimes we go asking other people, like, well, what do you think this happened? Well, what do you think that means? And it's like, no, go ask him.
You'll be thinking all day and you'll never know.
Exactly.
So ask and you shall know. I know it's supposed to be you shall receive, but you'll receive an answer and then you'll know. Okay. I think we limit our opportunities I think we limit our opportunities for a lifelong friendship because we out here playing games and just putting pressure on first interactions and stuff like that. It's a lot. I think success for platonic friendships is definitely the boundaries, like we stated at the very beginning, is setting that boundary and stating exactly what this is. Like, let's not play any games. This is a friendship. Like, you cool people.
Right.
And that's okay. Like, period. That's it. I think boundaries are important. And everyone who's listening, you need to start setting boundaries, okay? I'm also speaking to myself. Let's set boundaries all 2022, okay? Because it's necessary. And that's boundaries for everything in life, not just, your relationships, but with the things that you do, the things that you dedicate your time to. Set those boundaries. But I appreciate y'all for coming through. I mean, CJ, you still came through virtually, online. I appreciate you.
I got you.
Yes. ChaCha, thank you for driving in, girl.
Of course. Anytime.
Yes. This is a good conversation. So if you want to share your perspective or give your answer to whether or not you think guys and girls can be platonic, please let me know. Comment below. Make sure you utilize that comment section. And just, share your feelings. DM me if there's a topic that you would love to open up based off of this topic. I would love that. So, make sure you DM or comment below. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Oh, for sure, YouTube. Yeah. So follow us on all those platforms. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you can listen to a podcast. We on there, okay? It's the afternoon refill. Let's give it up real quick for ChaCha CJ one more time. Yeah. Thank you again for coming through. Once again, my name is Toni C, and I'll catch you later.